I'm going to go over 3D first-person movement in GDevelop. So to begin with, there is a premium game template for 3D first-person movement with a gun. So a first-person shooter template that you can buy in-engine right now. But there's also a free template called 3D First Person that shows the basics of 3D first-person movement. So I'm going to be going through that template and explaining how everything works. I'm going to be using the built-in 3D features in GDevelop, so the camera and player character are both a 3D box. And the extensions that you'll need for this example are Walk 3D, Jump 3D, First-Person Camera, and Mouse Pointer Lock. And you can get all of those by searching through the extension list. And for two of them, notably Jump 3D and Walk 3D, you can get them by searching in the behavior list. So the first thing we need to do is get those extensions into the engine, and then add these two behaviors to the 3D box that in this example we're calling camera, where Jump 3D is the ability to jump, and Walk 3D is the ability to walk. So right now I have nothing set up, so if I preview the game, we'll just be looking at the scene from top down. There's the camera object. And so the first thing we're going to do is set up the mouse pointer lock. So if this is not a mobile device, and you left click, which means you've clicked on the screen, and you're not currently locked in with the mouse pointer, then we're going to request a mouse pointer lock, which will lock and hide your mouse pointer. Now, if your mouse pointer is locked, so after you've done this, we're going to rotate the cube along with your mouse movement. So the first thing we're going to do is change the angle, which is left and right, and we'll use the expression builder to get this expression. So we're looking for pointer X movement, because it's left and right, so it's the X axis. And then to slow it down to make it more manageable, we'll divide that by 20. So if I preview the game now, there's the cube, and if I click in, I can move back and forth with the mouse. Now the next thing is to change the Y axis. And again, we'll use the expression builder to find this. And we'll get pointer Y movement, and we'll again divide that by 20 to slow it down. To make it fully rotate, these need to be set to add. And now you can see the box is moving around freely. The next thing to do is make it so that we're no longer looking from top down, but through the actual eyes of the 3D box. So we'll use the action look through object eyes, and pick the camera object on the base layer. And now when I preview the game, we're actually looking around in 3D, but we're at the floor. So we need to change the camera's Z position and add the depth of the camera object. And now we're at the depth of the 3D camera object, because you can see the top of the box is actually quite a bit higher than the bottom. Next, we need to fix this problem, where I can literally turn the entire camera upside down. And to do that, we're going to change the rotation of the Y-axis of the 3D camera object, and this time we're going to set it to a value where we clamp the camera object's rotation in the Y to be between -90 and +90. So now, the camera stops once I get to the bottom, or the top. So now that we've got the camera working and looking around through the 3D box, we should get the character moving. Down here I've got it set up so we're using WASD and space for jump. So all we need to do is use the simulate actions for forward, backwards, left, and right. And this works by adjusting the direction the force is being applied based on the direction your camera's looking. So if I preview the game now, we can look around, and if I press W, we'll move forward, and S to move back. And it's all dependent on which direction I'm looking, just like a regular FPS. So now we've got the camera going and player movement set up. These are done with the Walk 3D behavior that's set up inside the 3D box. So if I want to change how that works, I can change the values in here. The next thing is the 3D jumping. And to do that, I just need to add simulate jump as the action for the space key being pressed. And now if I preview the game and press space, the character jumps. However, to prevent going through all these objects, and actually jumping on top of things, I need to add one more action. I need to add the action to separate from platforms. And the platform in this case is the barrier. So now I can jump up on top of these, and I won't go through them anymore. Now, I know a lot of people using the engine are making mobile games, so let's set up some mobile controls. The first thing to do is add these joysticks into your game. This one being set to number 2, and this one being set to number 1. So this is your left and right joystick, or walk and look joystick. So something that's set up in this example already is if this is not a mobile device, the walk and look joysticks are deleted. So if I disable that and preview the game, they'll be on screen. So to move the camera with the joystick, we're using the condition if the joystick is pressed, and then for the action we'll be using the simulate stick control rotation for the 3D walk behavior, select the camera, and then use the stick's force. Look joystick, force, in the X direction. And that will change the camera's rotation along the X axis. Then, we'll change the camera's rotation on the Y axis, and add the look stick's stick force along the Y axis, times 120, times time delta. And so if you want to speed this up or slow this down, you can change this value. So now if you preview the game, I can control the camera with the joystick. And now for player movement, we have if the walk joystick is pressed, simulate stick control, not for rotation, but just for control, for the camera. And we'll use the walk joystick's stick angle, and for the force, we'll use the walk joystick's force. Not in the X or Y direction, just the distance that the joystick is away from the center, regardless of which direction it's pointing. And now, I can control the walking direction with this joystick. That's how you set up 3D first-person movement in GDevelop. But for now, check out this video.